Welcome to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about, but probably should. And we're here looking at nutrition, season 6, episode 4. And, tough one. We're going to talk today about the neuro implications of our foods we eat. And although it might sound really tricky and that sounds a bit in-depth, Gary, it's not actually. We're going to talk about things that just a few foods that can help you with your brain patterns and also the way that your pathways are working, which can also help your thinking and also your moods and regulate maybe some of the things that in your brain at the moment may be holding you back or affecting your relationships and also your concentration. So, look, let's take a quick deep dive into some of them. You might know some of these already. You might actually go through the reasons why. But again, this is just a series about educating you about things that can sort of help improve your overall holistic health. And again, we're coming to you talking about nutrition. Okay, what are some things that can promote our brain health? Well, number one, fatty fish. We've known about this probably for ages, and people are always a bit dubious about where we get our fish from. But if we can get some fatty fish, those deep sea fish, really, really good for our brain. So some of the other ones we talk about is trout, sardines, some of those smellier ones. Also salmon. They're really rich in omega-3, which is essential for our brain health. It helps the nerve endings and it's crucial for memory and learning and protecting against cognitive decline. Now, I've been to a few nutrition seminars and they're saying that our omega-3 should be at a rate of 1:3 to omega-6. So omega-3 is from the sea, omega-6 is from the sticks, things you get from the land. But unfortunately, a lot of ours is like 1:40. So we're not getting enough of that omega-3 in to help our brain cells. So have a think about that. It's going to regular consumption of omega-3 through these fatty fish can help with improved our cognitive function, but also help with our mood as well. There's also some studies now where it's supposed to lower the risk of Alzheimer's disease. So fatty fish, although smelly as it is a good way that we can actually start helping our brain health. Another one is berries, and this is probably a pretty common one. People know about blackberries, strawberries, and blueberries, probably the most common ones. They have antioxidants, flavonoids in them, and again, they help with reducing inflammation and it protects the brain cells from that. So look, it helps with the communication between the brain cells, which again helps delaying brain aging, but also improves our memory, which again, in our society, we need that because we're so reliant these days on our our phone and also our fast-paced lives and just asking Siri for things now and then. And it can actually help with our memory. So I think it's a really important one, especially for our young kids who are still obviously at school as well. Here's another one, dark leafy green vegetables, spinach, kale, broccoli. I don't actually like the bitter taste of kale, so I know a lot of people have it in their smoothies, but spinach, broccoli, all those things that have dark leafy greens, even lettuce is saying helps with digestion because it's 90% water. Very, very important. And I know people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the ex-bodybuilder, he went to a complete vegetarian diet and they reckon that the testosterone in his body just went through the roof by cutting out meats and having things like dark leafy greens. So look, there must be something in it. It's supposed to be high in nutrients like vitamin K, lutein, folate, support brain function, and again, protect against the cognitive decline. So they're showing that these vegetables can slow the brain aging and improve the brain plasticity, which means can help your brain move and manipulate and move hopefully to the things that you actually want it to be positive for. So really good one, especially for those young kids out there who are into exercise as well. A couple more, nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, all different things like that. Got to be careful with nuts and seeds because they have a very high calorie value. So if you're having too many nuts, it can actually allow you to put more weight on because of the fats involved. But they're really high in antioxidants and healthy fats. So it helps protect the brain cells because we know that our brain really needs fats. Stops that oxidative stress as well. So regular intake can help brain function and help reduce neurodegenerative diseases. So really important. They say a group of nuts that can fit into the palm of your hands is probably the right portion for you to have. Whole grains is another one. We just bought a whole heap of rolled oats for our kids and ourselves. Brown rice is another one, quinoa. But oats is really important. All those whole grains provide glucose, which is a steady flow of energy or source of energy, which we don't want the high GI stuff. We don't want the sugars or the white foods because that can actually give us lots of energy quickly, but then we'll peter out and get really tired later on. So it contains fiber, helps gut health, influences again brain function, and stops the bad gut brain axis. So we actually want to make sure that we have plenty of that kind of stuff, the low GI stuff. So whole grains is important. And a couple more avocados, We all know about that one. I find people either really love avocados or hate avocados, which is really interesting. I just love having avocado on toast, bit of salt and pepper, delicious. But those monounsaturated fats helps maintain healthy blood flow and also keeping the brain functioning well. So it's really important. Again, stops cognitive decline. Avocados really, really rich in those monounsaturated fats. It's a good one. Eggs, the second best protein you can have in your body. Again, it helps the neurotransmitters, I suppose, to play a big role in your mood regulation. So it's a really important one for our mood. So if you can add eggs to your salad or have a different variety of eggs in the morning every now and then, maybe twice a week, some scrambled eggs or some poached eggs, fried eggs, however you're going to do it. I know some of our girls have French toast. So again, something you're going to have, but to get that food in to help with your mood regulation, really important. And again, it helps with your memory and cognitive performance. And last one I'll talk about is turmeric. Curcumin is, again, an active ingredient in turmeric, and it helps because it has potent anti-inflammatory benefits. So it stops all those antioxidants in our brain, all those negative things. So this one's been around for a while. So it helps boost serotonin and dopamine levels, our energy levels, and our desire to do things. So again, that improves our mood and has shown to delay age-related cognitive decline as well. Look, dopamine's the thing that gets us up and doing things or not doing things. Turmeric, if you can add that somehow within your diet, really, really important to help with that serotonin and also that dopamine levels. And look, we can go into nutrition forever, but I think these are some boosting activities you can have to add to your diet, because I don't really like this diet. I mean, your food that you eat, the consumption. And we don't want to have probably the same thing every single day. It lacks variety. We probably won't enjoy our eating habits, but some of these things you can think about, how can you add them to your diet or your food? How can you add them to your daily intake? What are some foods that we just discussed then that you actually like, or you maybe don't think it's that nice, but you can sort of modify it or add it to other foods so you're getting that health in for your brain particularly. So again, we're talking about brain health. So let's go through them quickly again. Fatty fish, example, salmon, trout, sardines. Berries, example, strawberries and blueberries. Dark leafy greens, example, spinach, broccoli, kale, not so much for me, but kale's another one. Nuts and seeds, especially almonds and walnuts, and you can add flax seeds, things to maybe a smoothie. Whole grains such as brown rice and oats, avocados, eggs, and somehow getting some turmeric in. Think about that because if you can add those things in, improving our brain health. And again, that not only helps our brain health and our loss of cognitive decline, it sort of stops that, but also helps our moods, which I think is really important these days about improving our relationships. Here's a challenge for your journal this week. So try and identify and list your current brain foods you have. So what are some of the positive ones you say, hey, yeah, out of those 8, I've actually got this, this, and this. What are your negatives? My other one's saying, I haven't actually added these ones or used these ones, or I don't know if I like these ones, or, whereabouts are you at the moment? And then examine and record your emotions and energy at the moment. So write down how you're feeling, maybe over the course of a week, and say, yeah, this week I've been flat, this week I've had energy, this week maybe I've been a bit moody, or maybe I've been a little bit short with people. Have you had a food bias towards those things? Like your mood has been based on the foods you eat. And now change it around. The following week, list new food you can incorporate into your daily intake. We talked about that before, but see if you can add some different foods in. We've just talked about those 8 foods. And then over that week, see if there is any change in moods over time. And obviously you've got things that cannot probably be consistent with those things. Maybe your sleep, maybe there's other things in your relationship, like you come across your path as having a bad, interaction with somebody that can affect you. Maybe some tragedy in your family might affect you. Things at work may affect you, or school. Obviously, there's going to be other factors, but if you can add those new foods into your diet, just see if there has been a change in your moods over time. And if so, maybe out of those 8, you can keep regularly having those things and intaking them to see if you can continue with that. And you know what the best thing to do is? If you see a change yourself, tell someone else about it, because 2 things will happen. Number 1, it'll cement the things you're doing yourself, and it'll make you reiterate to you, hey, I've got to keep having these things. And the other thing it'll do is it'll help somebody else who may not know some of these foods that they need to help them with their path into better overall health. Look, that's season 6, episode 4, nutrition. The next week, we're going to talk about things, some common foods that can affect our brain and mood. So again, going on the neuro path, how we can affect our brain. I think this is really important because the brain is our captain of the ship. It actually controls all the things in our body. So let's get that right. Let's go through some common foods that can affect the brain and mood. And again, we can then go back to this episode and say, well, here's some 8 things that you can counteract that. Look, thanks for joining us on this episode of GW Unspoken, and I'll look forward to your company in our next episode when we talk about those things. Thanks for joining us.